Hey guys, welcome to episode 4. Today we're going to be working on the steel factory and starting the mega factory, but you'll see we got some side objectives in terms of the T3 vehicles, the pocket dimension, all that stuff. And I suppose let's just dive in and do some of the research, and predominantly we're looking for the inventory slots from this one and the inventory slots from the pocket dimension. So that's going to be awesome for us to actually hand in and get going. So let's start with this, and then we can go get the pocket dimension. That'll increase our inventory size, which will be very welcomed. And then yeah, let's carry on, and then we can start getting the caterium for what we need for the splitters and go through the build.
Milestone reached. Tractors permit pioneers to move around the world in a manner similar to using legs, except with wheels and the rampant consumption of natural resources.
Nice.
They can also be automated to
Look at that
self-drive
space,
and
guys.
deliver resources between truck stations, which in turn facilitate automation.
Cool, and that's the whole of tier 3 done. That's awesome. Let's mark
Pocket
those off as
dimension
done.
significantly expanded. I worked all afternoon, analyzing the transdimensional confibulatory permutations of alien DNA to achieve this. We are all
Good
doing our
job,
part
Peter.
for
Good
Fix
job.
It.
Okay, so the next thing on the list is going to be the smart splitters. To get the smart splitters, we're going to have to go do some of the caterium. So let's go and get some caterium from over the hill on the way through to the cave, and then we can get started with that. Let's start making our way to the caterium, guys. Okay, so one of the things we're going to need to do is we're going to actually need to take some power with us. So let's just start stringing this one along for now. And then that'll help us set up a basic little factory. And the reason why we're doing this is because we need to get the caterium ore, make it into ingots. We'll take the ingots, make it into quick wire, take the quick wire and make it into AR limiters. And that's what we actually need in terms of making the splitters. And we also need the quick wire and all that research to be done in order to unlock them. So let's go and make that. We'll set up a basic little factory, nothing too major. At least we don't have to worry because all the power is all sorted from our previous episode with our compact coal, so that's fantastic. So it's going to give us the opportunity to start working on some bigger builds now, which will be really cool. And we can start worrying about optimizing and using all the resources that we get from a specific node. So yeah, let's just dump in here. We'll just put down a little foundation. Okay, monsters behind me. Cool, we'll just have some power coming up the hill. That'll do. Okay, let's just take some of the hostiles out. Nice. Okay, let's get the juicy pots. Okay, smash down some of these. Okay, I'm just going to lay down a little foundation area here, just enough for the smelter and the constructors. Get something basic up and going. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, let's smash down the miner. Okay, we need the portals. Okay, so that's going to be here. Wait, that's not straight. That's better. Okay, then we'll put that into a smelter. How many can we actually do with this? This is 120. Okay, so we can underclock this to 60. That'll be fine for now. And what we'll do is we'll put it into a split and we'll go through to 2 smelters. I think that'll be great. So let's just smash down a splitter here. Okay, then this can go to a smelter on this side. Have a smelter on this side too. And as I said, we're not going to do optimizing just yet. We'll do that when we get to the mega factory side of things. Which is not going to take too much longer, at least. The setup is getting there, guys. Okay, let's change this to... Oh yeah, we can't do the research just yet. So let's just grab the MAM, smash that down. And you'll see it's this research over here we have to unlock. In order to get that, we need the ore. So let's just grab from the miner. Pump this up a bit for now. 2 more. Cool. Okay, let's start the caterium train research. Next one is the
The metal
ingot.
has been named caterium after Fixit's greatest CEO Katerina Parks. It has been added as a viable alternative to gold in industrial applications, specifically in advanced electronics due to its superconductivity, malleability, and corrosion resistance.
Cool, this will give us the ability to do the ingots. Now we can do it in the smelter.
Research completed. Caterium ingot recipe unlocked. New caterium research available.
You know, that underclock to 60, this is going to be... Oh yeah, these are 45. Hey, let's just change this down to 30. We'll change this one down to 30 as well. Then that's going to be using exactly what we want, which is perfect. Cool, then I think we need how many? We need 50 in terms of doing the research for the next level. So that's not going to take too much longer. What we could do is maybe just amp this up a bit. Let's crank it up, guys. That'll get us the 50 quick. Hook in now. I'm going to give that a little time. And then once that's done, we'll be able to do the quick wire. From the quick wire, we'll then go down to the zip line. Then we're going to do this research to this research to this research, and that's going to be where our smart splitter is. Okay, that's enough in terms of that. Quick wire sorted.
Research completed. Quickwire recipe unlocked. New caterium research available.
That means that now we can do the quick wire inside the constructor, so we'd have to make it by hand. Not the wire, the quick wire. There we go. Next one. Cool, so that's coming in at 12 per minute on that side, 12 per minute on this side. So let's just get all the clocking right now. So this one's come down to 12. And the same thing on this side. Cool, that's underclocked. Okay, and then we need 36 plus 36, that's 72 caterium all coming in. So let's upgrade this or downgrade this to 72. Take out both of those. And then we'll obviously have to increase the belt speed here because, oh yeah, I did use the right speed belts. That's perfect. So that'll balance nicely between those two. Yeah, so we should get the 36 coming either side. Cool, then that's going to be efficient. So let's just extend this. Oh, I can't extend that. I'm running out of resources here, guys. Let's just put down a storage container for now. Put it down here, just at the top of our makeshift little ramp. Well, we're running out of plates, so let's take off this edge. And what we can do is we can just put down 2 merges and get that coming into the building for now. Oh, these are just concrete. It's not going to come with the plates. Dang it. What can we salvage to actually get some plates? Not much. Okay, well, it's not needed. We can just grab it from directly from the machine. Cool. Let's go and do that next level now. So that's going to be for this one. Nice. Okay, then we're just going to need some more quick wire for the AI research.
Research options available. Congratulations on finding this metal. Many Fix-It initiatives will benefit from caterium's applicability in advanced engineering. Also, it is probably not sentient, and so unlikely to feel pain as we exploit it.
Not sentient. Won't feel pain, guys. Nothing to concern yourself with this side. Okay, I think we need 200, so just waiting for this to build up a bit, then we'll grab from here another one. Yeah, that should be fine.
Research completed. AI limiter recipe unlocked. New caterium research available.
Okay, so now in order to make the AI limiters, let's just go and grab down the bench here. AI limiters. We need quick wire and copper sheets, and we've got lots of the copper sheets at least. So we need 10 AI limiters to be able to do the research, so let's start doing that. And last one. Nice. Okay, so let's do this research. Cool. Smart split is done, guys. Let's mark that off.
Smart splitter unlocked. The smart splitter offers advanced settings that can improve conveyor belt logistics.
Okay, what we'll do now is we'll just come and leave these to build up over time. So that's not going to be a problem. Then we'll just come and grab the quick wire later, because we're going to be needing that to actually make a whole lot of those AI limiters, so that we can actually make some more smart splitters. So let's head back to base and we can start doing the research in terms of the gas mask, and then we can start looking at the detonator thereafter. And then from there, we'll start actually working on the steel factory. And then I'll take you through to the location that I've picked out, and we can start working to get the MK3 requirements, because we're going to be needing that for the mega factory, because we're going to be skipping using the MK2s and just go straight to the MK3s in terms of the belts that we can lay down for our logistics, which I think will be perfect. Okay, let's do that gas mask research. So for the gas mask, you're going to actually need to go down the chain using the mycelia. So we're just going to go and grab what we've got from doing all our chain sawing, running around getting mats. So here it is over here, these sets. So let's just grab those and let's go do the research. Okay, so let's go for mycelia. We'll start this chain. Cool. Fabric, we just need to get some bio.
The mycelial networks of these fungi possess unusually resilient hyphae, which show potential for making a strong but lightweight natural fabric. Additionally, it has similar medicinal and pest control applications to mycelia on Earth.
Awesome. And then here's the gas mask. So for that, we're going to be needing
completed.
coal
Fabric recipe
and steel
unlocked.
pipes.
New mycelia research available.
So we got a little bit of the steel pipes from the episode where we had bought some with the tickets. So that's going to be cool. So I think the only thing that we need now is just the coal. So I'm going to shoot through to the coal side of the factory where we set up the factory last time. And then we can actually start working on the research for that. Let me just shoot over there, grab some of the coal, and then we can get back into it. Okay, so on my way back to base, did a little swing past the little caterium factory that we got going there just to pick up some extra quick wire. Let's go do the gas mask. So I've got the actual coal that we needed to finish it off. So let's just go make the fabric. That's the remaining item. So we unlocked that from doing the research. So let's do this. Hey, let's do it, guys. Okay, mycelia, we can hand in for the gas. And the only thing left to do is actually make the gas mask in the equipment shop.
Research completed. Gas mask and filter unlocked.
Cool. Done. Let's make the mask, guys. Yeah, let's slap that baby on. I sound like Darth Vader. Haha. Cool. So I grabbed some extra sulfur and coal just in case, but we can mark that one off the old to-do list. Gas mask done. And now you'll see why I grabbed the extra coal and sulfur while I was there, is because now we can actually start working on the research for the black powder. So let me grab the two sets of materials that we need. Let's do the black powder research in terms of that. And the reason why we want to do this, we want to get to the detonation, specifically when we're going to be laying some of the foundation. So let's just go make some of the black powder.
Research completed. Black powder recipe unlocked. New sulfur research available.
So what I was saying is the detonator allows us to actually blow up a lot of the vegetation. So when we go lay the foundation just now for starting the mega factory, we can clear out a lot of the vegetation without the chainsaw, but actually just using this to blow stuff up. Which sounds awesome.
Detonator and Basic Nobelisk unlocked. Most obstacles can be cleared with the Basic Nobelisk. It is most effective against organic material and is able to destroy small boulders and porous rock.
Well, then we actually got the research for the steel. Well, not the research for the steel, but we actually managed to get steel from one of the crash sites. So we can use those steel beams in terms of what we need to do to make the obelisk detonator. Only thing that we're missing is just the cable, so let's go grab that. Okay, that's the detonator done. Okay, let's put that on place of our scanner for now. Nice. Okay, only other thing we need to do now is to actually make some explosives. So let's go look at the obelisk. Okay, so we just need to make some black powder. We're going to need about maybe, I'd say 40 to go and clear what's up there in terms of the vegetation. So let's just make a couple of those and then we can just run around throwing them and stuff and blowing it up. Okay, that's done. Let's mark that off the old to-do list. Okay, detonators in hand. Let's have a look what it looks like. Nice. Okay, let's have a look here. So let's go into the T4 and we can actually do the advanced steel because we've still got some of the pipes that we bought in the previous one. And the reason why we're wanting to do this is that we can unlock the MK2 miner. So let's do this and hand these in. MK2 miners are going to be awesome for the steel factory, guys. Going to get us a lot of MK3 stuffs. Cool. That's the advanced steel done. Let's mark that off.
Milestone reached. The Miner Mark II allows extraction of resources from nature to fix it at twice the speed of the Mark I model. Miners can be directly upgraded to Mark II without removing the Mark I model, just like conveyor belts and other upgradable infrastructure. Unfortunately, setting up the production of advanced steel parts and project part number 3, automated wiring, will not be as easy. Every moment
it's easy, guys. We'll sort it out. Okay, so the next thing on the list is the MK3, and this is ultimately what we're going to need to start building the mega factory. So what we'll do is we'll get started with the steel factory to be able to produce the required steel beams, and then we can actually bring that back, do this research, and we can start on the mega factory. So we're at a roadblock now. Let's actually go do the steel factory and get started. Okay, so let's select the milestone and start heading off. So we're going to be going to the same place where we actually went to the cave for the quartz and the SAM ore. And the reason why is because they've actually got a lot of coal nodes there, which is going to be really cool. So we're going to leave those coal nodes over here, that side for the coal factory. And that's exactly what I want to be able to expand that at a later stage, which is going to be really nice. So what we're going to be doing is using this separate part of the map where there's lots of coal. And yeah, it just happens to be right by the factory or right by the quartz there. So if we just do a scan here, it'll be in this area over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run off some poles into that side, and then we can start laying the foundation. I'll kill some of the animals that are busy there, and then we can start setting up shop. So let me go and run that way. I'll just show you where to go, and then I'll start setting up the foundations. Okay, so we've arrived. This is the location, guys, and if I do a scan over here, you'll see all the coal in the nearby area, which is going to be these 3 or 4 over here. The nice thing as well is it's got a nice little limestone, so what we can do is we can take some of the steel beams and actually convert those into the encased industrial beams. And then the last thing that's important from this side is actually the iron ore, and that's dead ahead over here. And this is a pure node, so we got everything that we need to make exactly what we want here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, kill some of the local creatures, clear out some of the areas in terms of the nodes over here and there, and then I'm going to set up a whole lot of foundations, and then we can get started. Okay, the foundations have all set up, guys. So if we have a look up here, I've just gone up there and I've tapped the iron node that's there. I've run some foundations along here and I've put some power for us to get ready to go through to make the factory. And then I've actually put this one down just in terms of the miner on top of the coal over here. Now the only thing that's important to notice is you'll see here, this coal one is actually putting out at 60. And this one at the top here is actually putting out at 120. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to use power shards in the bottom one to at least speed that up to match this one. And then we can actually just drop to the 3 forges, and I'll show you that now. So in order to make steel that we need for the steel pipe and the steel beams, we're going to need to convert both the coal and the iron into steel ingots. So if we have a look at the recipe in the foundry here, you'll see that it's got steel ingots and it takes 45. But the nice thing to do is just to underclock this to 40, and then what we can do is we can just have 3 of these producing 120 steel ingots. So that's how we're going to start. Then once we've unlocked the T4 MK3, we can come back here, upgrade both miners to 240 and drop down more in terms of the forges. So let's just get going and start putting in these. So let's amp this up to 120 production, which is going to be perfect. Cool, and then let's start dropping down the forges. So I'd like to continuously make them in a line from here onwards. So let's just get the forges going. We'll line it up here like this. Pretty straightforward, just like what we've done on the compact coal on the other side of the factory. Okay, we'll do 3, and we're going to underclock these. So let's select the steel ingots, put it on 40, copy paste those settings. Okay, then the only thing we've got to do now is we just got to put in the logistics for it. Now, we can also use our smart splitters if we want to. So I'm going to actually do that and then I can explain it. Let's just make some AI limiters. We should have enough in terms of making some. So we'll need about 6 in terms of getting a setup for this little factory side. So let's do that. And then we'll be able to make 6 splitters, and then I can show you the difference between a normal splitter and a smart splitter. So if we look at the logistics, we go down to our smart splitter and we smack that down here in front of every first one. So let's do every first one will be for the iron and every second one will be for the coal. Well, we'll do the same thing here for the coal side. Again, 3 high. Okay, we'll have to set up on the foundation with normal ones just to get them that high for us to make the smarts. Just because we don't have enough just yet. But that's fine. Okay, so we got something like this now. Where everything... Oh, man. It's supposed to link up into the second ones, not the first ones. Okay, so let me do that again. Okay, now we can just do something like this, link these up. These ones aren't aligned, sods it off. Okay, that's better. So then we'll link these ones. Cool, that's all linked up. So now you'll see that it started to feed through these, and the default setting on a smart splitter is to be none left, any, none. So what it's doing is it's just feeding any through the left. What we want to do is we want to set it to any left, overflow forward. And then what that's going to do is it's going to fill up this one completely. Then once this one's filled, it'll go to the next one. Once that one's filled, it'll go to the next one. So you don't actually have to split between them. It'll just fill them as it goes. So let's take this setting, copy that, and put those in all these smart splitters so that they'll all have the same setting. Cool. Let's just make sure this is coming at 120. Yep. Okay, and then let's just beef up the production in terms of the power. So let's just throw some power along this side. Let's see, we want it connected on this chain here. So let me bring this back on. Like this. In line with this one here. Okay, so put it there. Connect to this one. We'll do the same on the others. Cool, and that should all be going. Then we can just stick some merges on the front. So there's the 40, 40, 40. Cool. So let's put merges on this. We'll head this side. Cool, and that's going to link all of these up with the 120 steel that's coming across. Then what we can do is in front of this, what we can do is put down the constructors, and what we can do is put down two different ones. So we're going to put down one that's going to be making the steel beams, and you'll see that one requires 60. And then there's also the steel ingots, and that one requires 30. So let's make maybe one of the... We actually want to have more steel beams than pipes, but we're not worried too much about that, so we amp up production. So let's use one in terms of putting out the steel beams, and then we'll put down two in terms of the steel pipes, and that's going to be our 120 for now. So let's do that with a splitter. So again, we can put down another splitter. Let me make some smart splitters and we can get started. So let's jump in and do that. Cool, that's all done. So what we can do now is let's reserve some space for the additional ones. So we're going to have an additional 1, 2, 3 here just now. So I won't link these up just yet, but that's what we're going to need when we double up the production after doing our objective on the right hand side here for the T4 MK3. So let's just merge all of these as if we have done that, and then we'll come and beef up production just now anyway. So let's just finish linking these. That's all reserved. Now what we can do is we can start using this to actually split these and go to the two different constructor series. So let's do that, and we can make that look good. So let's go through our splitter. We can put that down here. Link this up. Yeah, it's going to bring through the steel now. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have a constructor series on the left and the right. So let's go through. I was thinking about, do I want the constructors facing inward or outward? I think let's go outward. It makes the most sense, because then we can just push the steel down the middle here, and then we can break off the chains. So let's go like this, for example. We can stretch it all the way here with 6 blocks in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can put down a splitter on the end because we're not going to use this one. Let's just link these. Cool. Now what we can do is we can just feed off this bolt to the different constructors. So let's go and do a constructor on the left hand side here, and we wanted 1 for the steel beams, and we wanted 2 for the steel pipes. Cool. And then what we can do is we can just take a splitter and we can put that in between these two like this. Move this over a bit. Which one isn't centered? These two aren't centered. This one's the one that's centered. Yeah, so let's put this one over here. Like that. And we can put these ones nicely. And we get the split out. Something like that. Cool, we'll link that side and that side. And we'll just need a second one there. Link that one there like this. Yeah, that's going to be cool. And then these two can be for the steel pipes. So that's going to be 30 coming this side, 30 coming that side. And then over here, we'll have the steel beams, so that's 60, so that's the 120. Then on this, we want any left, any right, so it's going to feed both of these machines on the left and right, and then overflow here. And then this one will be right, any, center, overflow. And that's going to be great. So now let's link through our power. Let's go grab it here. Run to the constructors. like going over there. Let's move this over a bit. Cool, and then this one connected over here. And then we can expand it. Actually, let's move this one out a bit. Just one more out. Yeah, that's good. Then we can put the other one there on that chain. Cool. And let's give that guy power. Awesome, everything should be turning on now. So we've got the pipes being made this side, and we've got the steel ingots being made this side. So what we can do now is let's bring through into a merger on either side, just that we can start putting it into a storage facility. So let's go through to our, you know what would be cool? If we actually did the depot uploader, but we need more mats for that, so let's not worry about that just yet. Cool, let's just use a normal storage. So we'll put this one down here, connect that inside here, because it's just the one, but we'll put through a merger. And then the same the other side. Let's have it on this one here. Maybe a bit more over. Yeah, like here. Okay, and then the same thing. Let's get a merger going. What happens when you don't fill up your factory floors, guys. This is going to be in line with that, so let's actually move this, because otherwise we're not going to be able to get through that, and this is blocking in the way now, so let's move this guy, put this one over here, that won't then block. Connect this up, and then now we'll put down the mergers. This looks nicer. Okay, connect the pipes. Cool. And that's that, guys. So now we've got the little steel factory going in terms of this little setup. And then what we'll do is we'll run the extra here when we've done the upgrade. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let 200 of the pipes build up there, 200 of the steel beams build up there. And as soon as those are ready on the steel beam side, because we've got quite a lot of pipes still from our previous tickets and stuff as well. So as soon as this has got the 200, we can head back to house or the hub, and we can start doing the hand-in for the MK3. Then we'll just loop back here and we'll start doing the upgrades. Cool. I'm going to let this go ahead and I'll catch you guys just now. Cool, so I've given it some time. Let's grab the stuff, guys, and let's go do the hand-in. So that's been pretty cool. So another thing which I've done is you'll see I've actually managed to go and get some of the SAM fluctuator. So I headed into the cave that side. I got some more of the SAM ore. And then I actually got enough materials that we can make 2 more dimensional storages. So it seems that we're going to be leaving this area. Maybe let's just put down a splitter on this line over here. Something like this. What we can do is we can set this one to overflow left. So as soon as it's filled up in the main bin, then what it'll do is it'll start overflowing onto this panel. And then what we can do is we can put down a storage for the dimensional. And then we can start actually putting the upload into here for when it's all filled. So let's do that, and then we don't have to keep running back here in case we need more materials. So that's going to be cool. What we could also do is actually do any, and then it's going to split between each of these, which will be nice, because then at least we'll have it coming up into our inventory as soon as it starts going in there. And then we can just grab what we need. So to do its upload. As soon as the upload's done, it'll appear in our backpack. There it is. Cool, so let's go do the same thing on the other side. Let's grab our splitter. Put that down here. Go any. And what we can do, yeah, let's put it on this side, that's fine. Let's go back to our dimensional depot. Put that there and link it up. Nice. And this is going to come through, feed the beams, and this is the same thing. We'll do the upload and then it'll appear in our backpacks, which is awesome. Cool, with that all sorted, steel factory is up and running. Let's mark that off as just being the starter factory. Now we're going to go do the T4 hand-in. So I'm going to run back to base. I'll see you there. And then we can do the hand-in the hub. Cool. See you guys there. So looking forward to handing this in, guys. It's going to be awesome. Okay, let's do it. So let's stick in the required mats. Nice. MK3 done.
Milestone reached. Improved storage containers and the conveyor belt Mark III provide the obviously necessary tools for improving your current setup. Production speed is of the essence after all. So work hard. Work as if every person you have ever or will ever love is depending solely on the choices that you make. Because they are. Warning.
No pressure.
Fix-It psychologists recommend not dwelling on the crushing mental and physical strain of your responsibilities and simply continuing to be productive. Hard work has repeatedly proven to be the best cure for any kind of stress. Now back to work.
It is throwing out gems, guys. Love it. Cool, with that done, let's mark that off on the old to-do list. Okay, with the MK3 now fully unlocked, let's head back to the steel factory, guys, and we can go and start doing those amendments. I'll see you there now. Okay, so I'm back at the steel factory, and the first things I'd like to say is I've just actually made some industrial beams. So I just put down the crafting bench, made some of these industrial beams, and the reason why is because we're going to be needing them to upgrade the miner. So that's the first step here, is to take these 120 miners and let's beef them up to use the new improved MK2s. Now we've got this coming in at 240, and because we've now actually unlocked the additional bolt speed, let's assign this to our 3 and 4 hotkeys, and we can do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, so we've got our whole bar sorted, and let's just upgrade our bolt speed across here. Then these will also be matching, so that's coming in at 240, and then this is actually coming in at 240 as well. We do have a theoretical max of 270 on that, but I'm not too keen on min-maxing and getting the extra 30 out of this. Cool, that's all sorted. Let's do these. I love upgrading bolts. It's so peaceful. Okay, with that all being done, let's now go and do our additional ones for the other ones. That was just incorrectly placed. Let's line it up better. Okay, that's the first one. Let's do the second. And then the last one. Link them all up. Okay, that's the first level, so let's do the next levels. Okay, then the only thing we've got to do is just go and copy the settings. So let's go and grab these smart splitter settings, paste them across the board here. Cool, and then we're going to need to beef this up at the bottom here because we've done the miner at the top, so let's do this one. Okay, and this one's coming in at 120 because it was a smaller one. So let's beef that up to 240 using the same power shards that we were using before. So now we've got 240 coal coming in, 240 steel, iron, and it's going all through the network here, putting it to the different forges. So the only thing we're going to do now is link up the power to these additional ones. So let's do that. That's the second one. Just need one more. And I think we did copy paste these settings. Hey, no we didn't. Okay, so let's do that. So copy this one. Paste here. Cool. That's all done. And so what it's going to do now is, because we're using the splitters, as you can see, it's going to fill up this one first. Then nothing's going to this one. Then once these are all backlogged, it's going to go to all of those ones. So we're just going to wait for this machine to fill up. So we've got some resources on us, so we can just top it up ourselves. Give it a little speed boost. Cool, and then the only thing we got to do now is increase the capacity in the front of what it's outputting. Because now we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So we've got 240 steel coming in, which is awesome. Okay, let's just upgrade these belts. Okay, what we're going to do is we're way more interested in doing the steel beams than the pipes, because we're going to be using a lot of steel beams for the build now in terms of the mega factory. So let's use the additional 120 that we've got, because we've already got 30, 30, 60 here and 60 there. So that's already the 120 from the first set of 3. This last set of 3, let's just put on another 2 constructors on this side, and that's going to be exclusively used for the steel beams. So let's set that up. Let's do left any center overflow. Okay, paste that there, paste that there. Then link that up to the power. And then those are going to make the steel beams. Okay, we just need to check. Yeah, that's great. Okay, then let's just set this all to go into the merger, just like what we have set up already here. Which is nice, because we can just keep extending the network. Which is awesome. And that's just going to go to the storage, and then to our depot. And just like that, we've fully utilized the next 3 ones for the forges. So that's really going to push up the production quite a lot, which is fantastic. So we went from 15 beams a minute to 45 beams per minute, which is going to be great. So let's just grab some of the beams we do have now. I'm going to make a little bit of space, because we got a lot of these materials on the other side. So let me just get rid of the things we don't need on us. Yeah, that looks good. Don't need those. Cool, and let's just grab all the beams we can, because we can be using a lot of those. Cool, I think that's perfect, guys, in terms of that. Let's just check here. This looks like it's backlogged. Cool. What we could potentially do as well is, I'm not totally against it, maybe let's actually put down a resource sink here, and we can actually link this up and start syncing any additionals, because this is completely jammed now, because this is completely full. And you'll see if I look at the power pole, that's obviously the difference between these 2 lines here. So what we could do is actually slap on a lift like this on that side, and then let's do overflow left here, so when this one gets stuck, it'll also produce on this side. We can do something like this, and then do a merger facing that way, and then a merger facing this way. Let's link these 2 up. Okay, and then let's just make sure that this one on the right hand side here is actually doing an overflow as well, so it's going to send stuff up there because it is overflowing. And then what we can do is we can just jam down a resource sink or awesome sink. Let's put it down there, or actually a little bit more forward. Okay, let's put it down here. Yeah, that's great. And what we'll do is we'll take this, point it into there, angle it from here. Cool, now that's take all the pipes that are going to be built in excess, all the steel that's going to be built in excess in terms of the beams, and we can sync into this machine for tickets, and that can just build up for us, which will be great. Just going to get this underneath there. That on the stairwell. No, that's okay. Cool. Now that's just going to sync and get us some tickets. And then this factory is pretty sorted for now. Just rough around the edges, but that's fine. It's just going to get us the materials that we need to build the mega factory. So let's head off, guys. Let's go start the mega factory. So for the mega factory, guys, we're going to be doing quite a lot of changes to our early base. As you know, we set this up very roughly and very quickly. Doesn't look pretty or anything, and it's the same thing for most of the other places. We've at least made some of these look a little bit decent. But what we're going to do now is we're going to actually tear up all of this, bring it all up onto the top location over there, because what we're going to do is we're going to make this a massive foundation. So all the way from the reinforced factory and the rotor factory, we're going to build massive foundations spreading 24 blocks roughly to the left, 24 blocks down the right. We're going to extend that all the way up over here, so we can have a massive open plan that we can actually start using for our factory floor. And then we're going to start working on the T-cross sections that I'll explain just now in an Excel spreadsheet, and I'll give you an overview of the factory layout. So yeah, just going to actually also use the detonator. So just like the detonator that we actually prepared, the plan is to take this and is actually to come up here to the top floor, load these all up, and you'll see there's a lot of flora and fauna over here. So what we can do is we can actually clear it, because the minute we start laying down the foundations for the factory floor, all of these bushes and things are going to start coming through it. So if I start the foundations, just to show you what I mean, let's just do this. We extend this here. So we're going to be doing this all the way for the factory floor, roughly to in line with where our current space elevator is. So you'll see here that a couple of little things are going to start poking through the floor when I lay down these foundations. So because I know that's going to happen, let's actually take the detonator and then we'll start smashing things. So let's just load up a couple of them. And then what we'll do is we'll just do a massive explosion, clearing everything on this area. Then we don't have to use the chainsaw all the time. And that's why we unlock the detonators, to prepare for the cleaning. Also, there's other things across the map, like there's little mounds, I don't know if you've seen them probably while you're adventuring, actually, that have stones there, and you can actually blow those stones up, and underneath them will be things like slugs or other materials that you can actually use, and some nodes are even blocked by them as well. So it's a good thing to have the detonator. And also, if you want to throw them at monsters and send them flying like ragdolls, suppose, depends, whatever floats your boat, guys. Let's get our vantage point for our organization. Three, two, one. Looking good. Okay, I'm just gonna go tidy up a couple of loose ends. I won't lie, that was very fun, guys. What a throw. It's like a quarterback. I think that's going to be clean, guys. Maybe these two over here. Good thing we made the quantity we did. Nice. Cool. Now when I at least place these, we're not going to have anything poking through the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Lay the foundation that's going to extend all the way out there. And then we'll have a massive factory floor that we can get going on. I'll see you guys just now. So here's the factory floor, guys. We've got it all mapped out for us. So you can see this is the area that we currently have our base, right at the bottom underneath the floor that we've now laid. And this is going to be the new player base above that location. And then the storage is going to be next to it. And then this is what I was talking about those 4 T sections. We'll have a T section here, an upside down T, an upside down T, and then another T section. So all in all, where we were currently standing with our cup, if we're looking out at the factory, this is the first section that we're going to be looking at here. So we're going to have a massive conveyor system that's going down the middle here, bringing resources from all the surrounding nodes onto it. We're then going to have a smelting floor that's going to drive the materials up here onto the associated upside down T-belt, which drives materials inside towards the middle belt. That middle belt just directs upward, and then it allows us to pull off anything we want off these logistic systems for our constructors. So the smelter pushes the items onto this belt, it funnels directly into this middle. We can take off the iron, we can take off the copper, we can take off the caterium, we can take off the steel, we can take off anything that we want in order to go into the constructors. Those will then feed through and go onto this bolt, and this bolt's also going to drive materials inward just like the other ones. So we can do something like this, and that's going to drive those materials back inward. Then it's going to go onto this conveyor system, and this conveyor system is basically going to be carrying every item in the game for us, or most of the items that we're going to be making from our mega base, other than the modular ones. And the last one on the bottom floor will be for the sushi belt that's going to be carrying what the assemblers produce, because the constructors generally put in high quantity items, the assemblers generally put in lower quantity of items. So that will be merged onto that. We'll then have a little break, and what will happen is we're going to have some sushi belts in terms, we're going to have some awesome sinks in terms of what's going to process off of these associated belts, and then these are all going to link into the corresponding storage section. So I know this looks a little bit hard to sort of understand, but it's a nice way for me to give you a really bird's eye view of the factory. And if we go into game now and we have a look at that, you can see what I'm explaining. And here it is, guys. So here's our massive sections. So we've got a T section here, an upside down T there, an upside down T there, and then there ahead's going to be our player base. And what's going to happen here is all of these nodes, these two nodes, for example, oopsie, let's go back up. And these two nodes over here, that node over there, this one over here, some of the coal if we want to, the sulfur from there. All of these nodes we can choose what to do with, and we can bring them onto this bolt. So we can extend this bolt that way, merge items onto it. That'll then split in those directions, and then we're going to put series of smelters and forges along here. That's going to drive everything onto this bolt. So that bolt over there and associated bolts will carry the ingots. That'll then go to this constructor wing, that constructor wing. Those will then produce items going onto that drives to the middle, that then takes off for the assemblers, that then goes there, drives to the middle, and then we can go through to our storage. So this is how the factory floor is going to work. It'll make more sense when we start stockpiling these up. So essentially what's happening now is I've just prepared the logistics as a base. This will go very, very high in terms of how many items that we're going to be producing in the factory. But I'll take you through that just now. So it runs all the way through, just like I was saying, through to our space elevator. And what's going to happen is at the end of the space, once all the items accumulate, that's when we're going to have our storages on either side. So what's going to happen is from this bolt onwards here, where the assemblers are, this last bolt here is going to be the sushi belt, and that'll drive everything we're making in terms of the assemblers along into the system. That's then going to drive through. We can then have a smart splitter at the end here that's then going to drive traffic depending on wherever we're producing to whichever item. So as you can see here, the smart splitter allows you to say which items go where. So we'll sort that out, and I'll show you the sushi belt a bit later. Then to the left of this, we're going to have every other item. So everything that's made by a constructor generally, the plates, the iron rods, the screws, all of that stuff is going to come here on this side, and we can extend this out. I've just done a little base for now for us, so we can move our hub from downstairs, put it up here, move our crafting table, our equipment shop, our MAM research. We can make this all our nice little home base up here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start layering these up and get one or two of the systems going, and then I can show you it in practice. So what I'll do is I'll go and get the concrete node that we've got over there. I'll flesh it out, and then I can show you from the bird's eye view how it looks and operates. Cool. I'll be back now. And here it is, guys. Look at this. Okay, so let me recap what's going on here. So you can see we've got some constructors in the constructor wing. We've got some smelters in the smelter wing. We've got lots of space for additional smelters and constructors. Don't have any assemblers hooked up, but obviously I'll get to that, especially when we're going to be tackling the objectives like you can see in the top right. So first things first, this node is now pulled onto this bottom of the base of the T, and then it's the same thing for the other nodes. So I've got another one over here and another one over there. So that's bringing in the copper, that's bringing in the limestone, and that's also bringing in the limestone. You can see it's joining onto this bolt. This bolt is then directing the traffic through to this side. That's going to the smelters. That's then leading onto there with the ingots. That's then leading onto there. That's pulling off here in terms of the limestone for the two concrete factory network there. And then this is going to make wire in terms of the ingots. That then drives outward, goes onto that top other belt, and then links up and drives through to our storage. So if we're just going to have a quick look-see, you'll see what I mean. And the nice thing is that then we can just fill out everything. So after what I've shown and what I've explained, I'm going to go and rip up everything that we've got at the bottom there, join it up to this bolt and the T at the base there. Same thing with these two factories, and everything's going to be on this factory floor for all the items doing the mass production. And I'll show you what that looks like when I've finished doing all the buildings. But what I wanted to show you as well is, let's just go through this. Here's the constructor series in terms of the limestone. So you can see it's all snug and all nice and put together, and just pulls off this one bolt. That then splits both ways into the constructor series and divides it up equally. So you'll see here I've underclocked them from having 45 max to just making 30 max. So on this one side we're making 120, and on this side we're making 120. So, or using 120 limestone. So we've got two nodes, both putting out 240. We've got this one making 240, this one making 240, or use of the 240, thereby producing, we've got 80 concrete coming from this factory and 80 coming from that factory. And we can speed that up and we can enhance. And in order to do that, it's pretty simple, because all we do is we just extend this and do another 8 here, another 8 there, another 8 there. So it's very expandable doing the factory like this, which is why I sort of like setting it up this way. Obviously what we can do, and that's the prelude to the next one or the next episode, is we're definitely going to be making use of blueprints. As you can see, this and this is exactly the same. We could have just made a blueprint for that, but we'll get into that in the next episode. And it's the same thing on this side. You'll see we can just make a blueprint, because it's the exact same setup as this one. The only thing that's different is just changing what's being produced. So here we're sending in the copper is being converted to the wire, and the wire is then feeding through onto the network. So it's just going through the chain all the way through. So this then leads out to the outside belt that joins onto the upside down T on this side, and the limestone again on this side goes to the outside of there and onto the T base there. And here's what I was talking about this one. This bottom one will have everything that's going to be produced from the assemblers in this swing and on this swing, and they're going to be putting onto this bottom one. But at the moment we've obviously got the concrete coming through there and the wire coming through there, and we can extend this up, which is what I'm going to do. And then we'll have something like this, and this will be for the cable, this will be for the copper sheets, this will be for the iron rods, this will be for the plates, and we can keep going as high as we need in order to get everything that we want to be made in this factory floor. So anything you choose, you can just choose to make here, which is awesome. And because we got everything located on these 3 belt sections, we can easily go through, put down an assembler, smash it down in any format that we like this. We can specify, let's make iron plates. We can then pull off the iron plates and the iron rods, and we can just feed into this machine going this way. That again then links up to that T-belt over there, or doubles back and goes through into the sushi belt, which is exactly what we're going to be doing using this bottom one for. So that explains that wing. So that's the constructors, the assemblers, and then let me just show you how the storage is working. So this is just driving directly into both storage units here, and if we shoot around to the front, you'll see that we've reserved this way is going to be for everything that's making a complex part. So it's going to be the rotors, the reinforced iron plates, the motors, all that stuff will be made on this side. And then this side is everything that comes from the constructor. So you can see it's currently got, well, I'm just using that for storage because I got a lot of these to actually use, so don't mind this. It's just the concrete that you need to pay attention to. And then on this side it's got the wire. And now what's going to happen is, as soon as this fills up and both these bases or storages are completely blocked, what's going to happen is it's going to trigger that this overflow then happens, and it's going to send items straight along here that then feed into our awesome sinks. So the awesome sinks are just waiting here to process as soon as those storages are filled, and that way we can keep adding an additional one and an additional one and keep going all the way out with every new item we make. It's also got the added bonus of we can put on a floor higher than this, and we can actually drive these into associated other train networks or logistics to send them elsewhere in the base or elsewhere in the world, and that's definitely what we're going to be doing. So that gives you, I think, a nice rundown. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and do the other items, and then I'll show you the storages and how it's looking. Hey guys, I've completed the other storages, and as you can see, we've got all the items coming through now, which is fantastic. And if you have a look down at the bottom now, I've ripped up all our old factory and the stuff that we were using down here, I've ported them up here, put them into the storage units. And what I've done is I've linked everything that we were producing at the bottom factory down there, and I put it on our factory floors. So remember, we had our reinforced, our rotor, and our modular frames, and the reinforced and rotor was coming from that side, the modular frame was coming from down there. We've actually got the two assemblers now, so we got the two assembler wings, one this side and one that side. The one on this side is actually producing the rotors, the two on this side is going to be producing the modular frames, and then lastly the reinforced plates. So this is the assembler wing that's going to then feed through all of their items onto this bottom belt, which is what I call the sushi belt. So I'm just going to show you how that works now. So what happens is we've got the assemblers, and what they do is they produce items. Those items then go out into a belt. That belt then connects through to on this side. That then goes through to the bottom sushi belt here. That's now going to contain all the items from the assemblers. So as you can see, here comes a rotor. If you look that side, here comes the frame that's going to come through on there, and this goes through into this last bolt here, which is why we call it the sushi belt, because it just mixes everything. So all of the assembler stuff, because they generally produce at a lower quantity of items, you'll see what I mean, it means that we can actually stock a lot of different types of items on this belt. That belt will then shoot through all the way through there to the storage, and then what it does is it actually splits them using the smart splitters that we unlocked from the MAM. So if we have a quick look at this, you'll see that what I've done is I've configured this one to send reinforced plates to the right with an overflow. So now all reinforced plates will go to this storage, and it's the same thing with the rotors, and it's the same thing with the modular frames. And what we can do is we can just keep extending this all the way here with everything that gets produced. So in the top right, you'll see we've got the smart plating, the versatile frames, and the automated wire. Those are the ones that we're going to be working on the next episode to actually automate those. And we're just going to extend the storages and then eventually be able to do the hand-in. So we will just have to build our space elevator somewhere along the lines of over here, because we've got some nice space now. So we can actually put this down here. Let's do that. Something like this. For now, at least. We can always move it when we extend the storage. So let's put maybe a bit more this side. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Then what we can do is we can actually feed the items into here with 3 different storages to complete the phase, and then gives us a little bit more room to expand here. And like I said, we can always move this out a little bit more and make the platform bigger. So I've taken the hub, I've taken the MAM, I've taken the equipment shop, everything that was from down here, and I've moved it up here into our different storage and area. And then what's going to happen is this sushi belt does what I described, and then we've got all the other items. And how it works is it's doing the same thing as the sushi belt, except that it's just passing off to the right hand side when it comes in. That then feeds off with again a splitter that goes any left, so that it'll actually take all the items here. And you'll see all of them have an overflow center, which means anything that's overflowing inside the bins will go to the middle. And then those just link to the awesome sinks. So just like the map that I produced to show you the top-down approach, here's our awesome sink layer, and then on the next side is our storage layer, and then the next is our player base. And all that I've done is I've linked up to make all the items that we were making downstairs just upstairs on our factory floor. So we've got the concrete, we've got the wire, we've got the cable, we've got the copper sheet, we've got the rods, we've got the plates, we've got the screws. Everything that we were making in our factory is now just put on the mega factory floor, and that's just completely expandable. So let's say, for example, that we'd want to make additional reinforced plates. Well, we just drop down another assembler, link up the backs, rinse and repeat. And in the next episode, we're definitely going to be making use of blueprints for this, because it makes it a lot easier in terms of how to do it, and we'll show you how to set that up. But if I just run all the way this side to show you what I've done in the top section, because I showed you what I've done by ripping up the previous base in the bottom section, I've done the same thing on the top. So right now we ran through the constructor layer, we're now running through the smelter and the forge layer. And now you'll see I've done the same thing that we did to our previous factory. I've just ripped up the ones that we were having over here temporarily that weren't using their maximum efficiency. And all that I've done is I've actually routed those onto a resource layer, onto a resource logistics section at the back here. So if I go all the way up to the top to give you a bird's eye view of the factory, you'll be able to see now, here's all the lines coming into this bottom T section. So just this T section over here, everything along the base now is pulling the resources. So we got the resources from the iron, resources from that iron section, the copper node, and then I've actually pulled additional 3 resources from the 3 copper ingots or copper nodes that we had down there for the extra runs. And what I've done is I've linked up everything in terms of what we need for those items. So each item has its own corresponding belt. So you'll see we've got 2 over here for the limestone. We've got then 3 for the copper. We've got another one that's reserved for another copper for later if we need. And then we've got 3 iron. So essentially this one's making the copper wire, this one's making the cable, this one's making the sheets, this one's on reserve. We've got this one making plates, this one making iron rods, and this one making screws. So everything then goes through to the corresponding section of the factory. And if I go all the way to the top, it's just as I described before. So we got everything, all the wings working together. So that's it for this episode, guys. I know it was a big one. I know we accomplished a lot, which is awesome. And we're going to be able to extend the factory very, very nicely in the next episodes and continuing episodes. And other things we'll do is with our modular factory for the steel over there, we can eventually bring it in with a tray network and link it onto that corresponding belt there that then feeds to the storage. Or what we could do is we could actually use this node that I'm not using in terms of the iron over there. We could bring a copper from down there, link it onto this belt, and put our own little steel factory here with another forge line in between. There's so much opportunity for extending the factory and doing what we want. But I'll keep that for the next episode. Awesome, guys. Thanks for joining. See you next time. Ciao.